everybody is not missing out on. We have lots of in-person events coming up. I know we're going to be at
Uh-oh. Is Frozen Kyle happening for anyone else?
and Fridays. Again, tune in there if you have any switchboard questions or things, again, you want to make sure that you're not missing out on there. And then also Ask the AO. We are now doing that with both my mom and Jordan. And so again, Thursday at 2:30, just come with any questions that y'all have. And again, a great space to plug in, get questions answered, whether it's big, small, a good spot for that. So next, we have a big lead update. I don't know if anybody's been following along. They have been kind of dropping it every now and then just with some of the national calls, but this is something that is definitely a big change, I would say, for a lot of us who have been here for a while. So first things, again, they have different, we still have our lead rankings, right? But now we're just going to be doing like A, B, C, D, and so on leads. This is a live screenshot from this morning, the lead map. As you can see, there are no bonus leads. So what does that mean for us? We want to put in B lead orders. They have a new order form for that. A quick kind of plug for this is that they do have a webinar today at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So that's something, again, that if you have any questions about how all this is panning out, go there, or you also can go to that quick reference guide. Should be semi-self-explanatory, but yeah, it's kind of the new norm. So definitely tune into that if you do have questions about it, and would absolutely recommend, if you are working bonus leads in any capacity, putting in an order as quickly as possible, because it is, yeah, first come, first serve. It is more of a status of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, kind of priority of order,
Yeah,
I think.
priority.
Yeah,
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
cool.
So that is that one. Definitely follow those links. I think Kristen threw them in the chat um, to plug into those. Symmetry National Conference Engage 2024. Going to be in the second week of September. Don't want to miss this one. We have a bunch of people that have recently signed up, and yeah, this is just something that you don't want to miss out on. Here's the people that are for sure coming so far. And if your name's not on there, it's a little bit of a guilt trip, I'm going to be honest, because this is genuinely something you guys you don't want to miss. And I know it's hard. We are blessed being in Colorado, but if this was somewhere out of the state, I would absolutely be putting money away to be able to save up for this event. It is truly that good, and yeah, so that's just a little plug there, and can't wait to see everybody that's already on this slide, to be able to hang out with y'all there in September. This is week number 3 and of a regular 4-week turn-in. So yeah, kind of check it out where we're at on the week. Last day of submit is going to be next Friday. And then the actual, again, just how we operate with the symmetry weeks. That's the last day to submit business specifically. However, you do have a couple extra days for the promotions, kind of the placed days. So yeah, again, that can kind of be a nice couple extra days. Don't count on it. Try and get it all in this week and next week. But just know that we do have a couple extra days to kind of get everything placed specifically. Let us know if you have any questions about the calendar again, because it can be confusing, but that should be pretty self-explanatory. Last week, we had in the Gains Agency 5 riders for 17,729 APV. July total so far is 7 riders, $35,500. And year to date, we're quickly approaching 500K, which is that's kind of cool. So yeah, weekly goal is 25,000, monthly goal is 100 plus thousand, 20 plus riders. And again, it's always fun to see where we were at again last year. Again, that was the whole month. We still have 2 more weeks. And so, yeah, definitely we'll be cruising by that hopefully pretty quick. And we have base shop of the Broader Gains Agency. Again, $18,036, 7 riders, 20 apps month to date so far. And here are everybody on the July leaderboard so far. Kristen, 13 for 7 and some change. Gabrielle, 9 for 7. Laura, she's been crushing it. I don't know if Laura's on the call. Let me scroll down. So fun to watch you, Laura, just continue to put in some awesome work. Tim Coates, 3 for 5,893. Whew, that's some big apps. Laurel, 2 for 3,000, just shy of 4,000. Daniel, 1 app for 2,700. Mama Gaines, 2 apps, 1,887. Good work, y'all.
Love that.
Month to date is 35K. You're right. Didn't update.
All good.
You're good.
All good.
Builder slide. This is a slide again that we always like to just shout out and post up on a little bit, but yeah, what Kristen posted there, kind of the start here. Road to team leader, Morgan, Tim, and Laura. You guys, it's awesome. It's crazy how quickly things can change within this business. So yeah, if you're ready to start building or are currently building, keep on the path. It's a fun track to be on. And then again, on the right side, we can see some of our June, May, April numbers there, just to kind of compare some of where things have been at. Chris and I, yeah, we just kind of wrapped up a 90-day push. Daniel and Gabrielle wrapped up a 60-day push for going up to team leader, key leader. And then Chris and I were pushing up to potential AO. And so waiting to hear back on official numbers on all of that, but pretty fun to, yeah, see where things are looking like they're landing. So great job to everybody and those that are starting to build and taking off as well.
Yeah, it'd be so fun to see 4 team leaders on here. I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Coming up quick. And the 100 Families Serve Challenge. Again, this is just keeping things into perspective. Symmetry, core value number 1, relationships matter, people come first. So just keeping that again in the forefront of our minds. But again, it's just awesome seeing these numbers going up. And yeah, Kristen and Gabrielle, you guys are incredible. It's amazing to watch y'all run, and love seeing everybody too. Just even helping and serving 1 or 2 families is a powerful thing for when life does happen. So yeah, the more the merrier that we can serve, the more protection that's in place for families.
And Kylie, I know you've got 2 apps, girl, so we'll get that updated for you. I'm seeing 1 on here, but I know you have 2.
Oh, good catch. And to start wrapping it up here, yeah, we do have connect calls available for both my mom, myself, and Daniel. And again, this can be anything and everything. I know that we do have the AO calls on Thursdays, but yeah, feel free to hop on this, y'all, and ask questions, talk strategy, just to have a yeah, another ear to listen to where things are at in your life. We are more than happy to connect on these calls. And we don't know if somebody is struggling unless you say something, or again, if you just want to chat, let this be a space for that. So yeah, open invitation to those. We'd love to connect with you all.
Yeah, I just want to add on that too. Like, we can reach out to anybody on this team or beyond our team.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody doing something in the business that you admire, don't be afraid to reach out. I've never reached out to anybody in the broader symmetry land that hasn't been like, yeah, let's jump on a quick call. So be bold, be brave. If you want to learn from someone specific within our team or without, like, do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Good word. That transitions into Kristen.
Woohoo! Welcome to
Great.
the Olympics, everybody. Oh man, I am a sucker for the Olympics, so hopefully somebody else on this call is too. Otherwise, this probably is not going to land. Also, specifically, we're going to have quite a few track and field analogies because I love track. I ran in high school and college, so I just especially love watching the runners in the Olympics. So we're titling this call What It Takes to Win. We're going to be really talking about having kind of an Olympian mindset. So hopefully you guys can kind of run with me on some of these analogies and hopefully something to land. All right. Where is this call coming from, aside from the Olympics being so exciting? Just kind of have been reflecting on the last 90 days and the last push that we've all been on, working really hard to hit goals. And so I wanted to just kind of start there, what the last 90 days has been teaching me, what it has taught me. So the first thing I want to start with is this phrase. So until you can learn to enjoy the journey, the destination will never be enough. And that is my biggest takeaway from the last 90. So digging into that, we need goals, yes. We need vision, yes. But if I could advise us, what we don't want when we're pushing for promotions is to lose sight of the bigger picture here and forgetting the reason we all decided to join the business. So the story I have with this was it 3 weeks ago, we were on that last Friday before we could submit business and hit our promotion. We're feeling so proud, we're feeling confident in the numbers, all of those things. I mean, it'd been a 90-day push. So we said yes to going on a family camping trip. And we were so excited to go step away from the work, go be outside, spend time with our family, and just unplug. So that was the mindset before we left for the trip. And then we drove an hour and a half to the campsite. And I look over to Kyle and I'm like, I should be working. I should be working. We should be working until Sunday night. We should be trying to write Americo, which I've never written before, and backdating policies to try and add to our APV. I'm like, if we miss AO because of this, I am going to have extreme guilt. I was feeling just so much guilt for not working still, even though it was Friday. That was the end of our work week, and we'd done all we could for the last 90 days. We were gassed at this point, or at least I was definitely feeling gassed. So I was crying at the campground after driving an hour and a half. And so what did we do? We called our upline, Mama Gaines. And I explained the situation, and she said this to us, which really stood out to me. She said, if you guys have to decide right now if you're going to be okay with the outcome either way, and you have to decide if what you've learned along this journey is going to be enough. She said that's something only you two can decide. You have to make that decision together. And if the answer is no, then you need to turn around and drive back home because you're going to be kicking yourself, basically. And so I took a deep breath, realized she was right. She typically is. And we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, okay, we really did give it our all. Let's go enjoy the outdoors, which we love, and let's go be with family. So it wasn't until after the 90-day push that I still was grasping for this promotion so much. But what stood out in what she said was enjoy the journey. You have to learn how to enjoy the journey and be proud of the work you put in, see what you're learning, be content in the hard work you put in to win, to get to the promotion. Because if not, truly, you guys, the promotion guidelines aren't worth pushing for if you're going to lose your vision along the way. Because there's nothing more defeating than that feeling, even though you should be so proud of what you just did. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. So we're going to fast forward to a story that I ran across in the Olympics, and her name is Anna Hall. She is a heptathlete. So if anybody is familiar with that, it's actually a track and field event where you do 10 events. She just doesn't go out and run an 800. She does shot put, she does javelin, long jump, and then she does 100-meter hurdles, the 800. She is crazy. She's an animal. But anyways, you definitely need to look her up after this call to just dive into this more, but I'll give you guys kind of the highlights. So she's a heptathlete. She attempted her first Olympic run back when it was the Tokyo Olympics, which was 2021. And she was in the lead and actually ended up falling on the 100-meter hurdles, and she broke her foot. So this top picture is that moment. And she posted afterwards saying, "My heart is broken. I'll be back." So fast forward, she went back to work, she recovered. She's been training for the Paris Olympic trials since, which we all know is another 3 years, 3 years of training to get back to the trials to qualify for the Olympics. So that's Anna. She finds out in January of this year that she needs a knee surgery. The trials are 6 months away and she needs a knee surgery. She gets the surgery, and the normal recovery time for just us average people would be 13 weeks. She was sprinting after 11. So they had her recovering so fast to try and get back to the Olympic trials. She didn't even think it would be possible. So fast forward 3 months later, she's running to qualify for Paris. And as you can see in this bottom picture, she did it. So she says, finally, I can breathe. We're going to Paris. And we're going to watch that last race because it's so good. But we'll do that in a minute. But what was so cool to me, when I find a story like this, I don't know about you guys, but I just like really dive in. So I'm scrolling through her Instagram, I'm looking at all her stories, I'm reading all the articles. I'm like, this chick is amazing. And I was on her Instagram, it was right after she'd won, and she posts a picture of this. Left side here is her vision board. Where have we heard about this before? So she posts on there, not just a vision anymore. And you guys can see she has her little Olympic rings blown up on her vision board with the heart she drew around it and all of this stuff on her vision board. Oh, there's a gold medal. She's got success is not final, failure is not fatal. I will not make myself small. All these quotes and phrases from people that have written her notes. You're bigger than what is making you anxious, patience. Like, I just was like, oh my gosh, an Olympic athlete needs a vision board? Why do I think I don't need one in this business I'm building with my husband for our future family? Like, why am I not taking it seriously enough to keep my vision in front of me? Because she's just an Olympian, which of course is so cool. But what we're doing is building a business here. And the opportunity we have is, I would venture to say, more long lasting. I'm like, if you're an athlete, you're going to eventually phase out. But what we have the opportunity to do is create something that will never phase out. I mean, what we're building is a solid business. So it was kind of an eye opener for me to be like, okay, if an Olympic athlete needs a vision board, like so do I. Um, I felt like I could skip that part because I'm just like, yeah, I know my vision, I know what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. But let me just tell you, after 90 days of an agency owner run, it's a little easy to forget the vision. And you're like, what are we even doing? You know? So this is a reminder that it's okay to be reminded that we need to enjoy the journey. And it's okay to be reminded that our purpose here is bigger than our next promotion or title. So this side here, which I also love, are kind of her affirmations and her journal the morning of the Olympic trials. So we're going to zoom in on these two because it's just so good. Um, like, this is for all of her events. She's putting like what marks she's gonna hit, what she wants to remember when she's going into the event, little cues. And on the left side, she's saying, you know, I'm still here. This is my event, my title, my spot. I'm going to take it. One event, attempt, cue. I don't even know what that means, but mostly just this top bit. Like, that's so good. Prove them wrong. I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. Today I will become an Olympian. Enjoy it. And I just stood there looking at these posts like, this is what it takes to be great. I want to be great in this business, and I know we all do too. That's why we're here. That's why we show up to a Monday call. That's why we show up to the national call. That's why we show up on a Friday call. That's why we call our upline when we need help. Like, we don't just buy leads for fun. We buy leads because we need to be profitable here, We need to be profitable so that we can lead a team here and grow a big fat agency, which every single person on this call is capable of doing. I'm looking at all of you, and I just know that our team is special. So that to me was a good outside symmetry reminder that not just symmetry land is making a vision board, not just symmetry people need affirmations, but even like the greatest athletes of all time need these reminders. So what we're going to do is a little bit of a quick activity. So if you guys wouldn't mind, we're going to throw in the chat. Let's see, what's the question I want to ask you guys? If you could pick one word to describe why you joined Symmetry, what would it be? I'd love to see some of those in the chat. And then we're also going to write that down. If you guys have a piece of paper in front of you, we're going to write that on the left side of a little sticky note. You won't need much room, but write that word down in front of you. Impact, freedom, legacy, opportunity, legacy for Daniel and Gabs. Love it. They're in sync. Opportunity, freedom, flexibility, service. I love that, Kenzie. Fulfillment. Love that, Tim. Okay, so we're writing that on the left side of our paper. And then the next question I want to ask you is, if you could pick one word to describe what your biggest hurdle is on your hard days here, what would it be? And if you're still in pre-licensing, it's maybe just a word that keeps coming to mind that's not 100% all in yet. Like, what's the word that would describe what's keeping you from getting through pre-licensing quick, or making your dials, or sitting with 10 people? Trust. It's a good word. Trust, myself, kind of your own personal blocks, being uncomfortable. Kylie, that's a huge one. Courage, Kenzie, big one. Fear of man, being scared to dial. That used to be me 100%, Daniel. Time, Tim, you're juggling time with the best of them. Making that first call, I get that. Those are so good. So we're going to write that on the right side of our paper. And then in between those two words, I want you to put like a huge greater than sign, eating the reason you came here. Does anyone remember math class? So make sure it's that way, otherwise the exercise won't work. But I want you guys to keep that in front of you, because I know a lot of us on this call are not going to go make a vision board, let's be honest. A lot of us are still not going to go write out our affirmations, but if you can at least put the reason you came here greater than your biggest hurdle, that's enough as a starting point. So put that on your computer monitor, put it in front of you, look at it before you pick up the phone to dial, whatever you need to do, because that's what we need to remind ourselves and come back to kind of our center. Otherwise, we're going to spin out. We're going to forget why we came. We're going to forget when it gets hard, when we maybe have a blank week, when we sit 5, even though we really wanted to sit 10, when we got a no-show for the 3rd time in the row, when we had 6 appointments on the calendar, nobody showed up, everybody rescheduled or ghosted us. We just can't give up on those days because we know what's around the corner. And to Gabrielle's point the other day, she had one more appointment on her week. What'd she do? She wrote the whole family. You just never know when you're going to write the whole family. So why would we be scared to pick up the phone? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but we have to be strong enough to kind of overcome that. And I think having our vision in front of us and writing out our affirmations is really going to help us with that. So we're going to kind of go into practically how we can treat this business like we're trying to qualify for Paris. So just run with me on this, you guys, because once I started looking into kind of the mindset of an Olympian, there was so much overlap to what I've heard people say on calls in this business that I just feel like we're all Olympian material. So we're gonna talk through that. So when I looked up the qualities of an Olympic athlete, this is what comes up. Number one, the ability to cope with and control anxiety. That reminds me of dialing the first time. Confidence, mental toughness, being able to focus and block out distractions. Hello, working from home. Competitiveness, having a hard work ethic, the ability to set and achieve goals, being coachable, being hopeful, having optimism, and being a perfectionist, having perfectionism. Where have we heard where have we heard that a million times? Every single call I jump on, I hear at least a sliver of that somewhere. And it just reminds me that we need to pick maybe one or two of these that are kind of something we feel could be our strong suit right now. And let's write 1 to 2 affirmations affirming that, something we see in our leadership or our skill set currently that we can take from this list and write an I am statement around it. And then maybe there's a few words on this list that you are like, wow, I struggle with that. Let's write an affirmation around it, rewriting those truths we're telling ourselves so that we can get better. Or maybe it's a few phrases or words on here that we really struggle with that we need to go pick up a personal development book with that topic so that we can actively work towards rewriting those truths for ourselves. Because without doing that, we're going to have that replay in our head. I struggle with this still. Like this is all stuff I just really need to hone in on, which is why I wanted to bring it to us today. But I'm going to challenge myself to do just that. I actually made my vision board yesterday, so it's sitting right over here now. It's officially over there. But I'm going to work on my affirmations because Kyle shouldn't be the affirmations for me. Neither should my upline, Jennifer. But that's what's been happening for me the last 90 days. I'm like solid as a rock, and then I am actually crumbling. And then it's like, don't quit. I'm like, I'm going to go work at McDonald's. No, I'm not. I'm just being dramatic and telling myself something crazy because I can't control my emotions and my words I'm telling myself. So don't rely on somebody else to give you affirmation. Do it for yourself every morning. So that's going to be my new challenge. If you guys want to do that with me, like I would love to have some people join me in that. But next we're going to talk about building. This next bit is really for the builders. So this is Allison Felix. She was an Olympian 4 years ago, but they have a crazy Olympic story you should look up from Tokyo, the women's 4x1 for the US. Crazy story, but we won't get into that. But I want to talk about a relay for a couple of reasons. It reminds me so much of building a team here at Symmetry for a few reasons. First off, track was always more fun with friends. And that was, I'd say, the best part of track for me. It was a very social sport, but then you were still the one that had to go get in your blocks and run the race. Nobody could do that for me, even though I was socializing all day long. It was still, I got to go warm up. I got to go get in my blocks and run a good race because I want to win. And we all want to win here. But I was just thinking about, so a relay team. We've got 4 people. Let's say we're running a 4x1, okay? We have 4 Olympic legs in that race. That reminds me of building a team. And let's say we have a personal producer in the lane next to them, no baton, they're just going to go out and run the entire 400 themselves. Who do we think is going to win the race? I'll tell you who. The 4 sets of fresh Olympic legs that are sprinting all out for their 100 meters, they're going to win. And they're actually going to win about 6 seconds, by about 6 seconds, because I looked up the Olympic times from last Olympics last night. So I just wanted to extra prove my point on that one. And 6 seconds in a sprint is a lot of time when it's track. And that just reminded me of building because we get to have a team. This business is more fun with a team. I love showing up and seeing your faces every Monday. I love knowing that I'm working hard, but so is Laurel, so is Kate, So is the Tims, so is Gabs and Daniel, Kyle, Morgan, like all of you. I see you working hard. I see you in the workroom. And it reminds me that I'm on a team here, all working towards the same goal, but it's still up to me to go out, get in my blocks, and run a really good race. And to me, that's being prepared for our appointments. That's having confidence. It's embodying all those qualities that we just talked about. And something Danny always talks about is buying time. And that's also what reminds me of building a team here. If you have a relay team, you don't have just your 24 hours, you have your team's 24 hours as well. So if you're a team of 1, you've got 24 hours in a day. If you're a team of 2, you've got 48. That just compounds in a way that allows us to serve so many more families, learn from each other's mistakes, grow in our skill set, and eventually, that's the best way to put an insurance policy on your business here. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be producing at a high level till I'm 65. I mean, I could, but that doesn't sound like why I came to Symmetry. Maybe that's why you came to Symmetry, but I sure as heck am planning to be retired by 35, maybe 40. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But that's why we build. We build because we have the opportunity to share this with others. It's not up to us to carry the entire load of training a new person if I'm new. We didn't do that with Daniel and Gabrielle. None of us knew what we were doing, but we've had a relay team since the month we started. And I can tell you, I probably wouldn't be here without my team, especially without my running buddy Gaps. So that's the difference, and that's why we build. And I just want to say this, we don't rely on our team for profitability. Unless you're Sarah Reinecke or Jamie Susie and your team is so huge that you just physically shouldn't be in the field, that's not why we build. But we build so that we can train up new leaders here, become our best version of ourselves as a leader. And if you are a builder, you are the anchor, which is another track term I'm going to teach you. The anchor is the last person in the relay. And if you know anything about track, they're usually the strongest runner. So I just want to call all of our builders up and remind you that you are the anchor of the team. And if you look up what defines a track anchor, these are kind of the 3 biggest qualities. They're competitive. The anchor should be tough and have a strong competitive attitude. You're calm under pressure. That is my husband to a T. Relays are high pressure situations, so the anchor should be able to stay calm and not get overwhelmed. And experience. The anchor should be one of the fastest or most experienced runners on the team. That is the best way I could describe a builder. Like, that is your responsibility. And your team should be able to go to you in any situation, which I can say strongly that every anchor in the Gaines agency embodies this, which I think is really cool. I'm sure you guys can agree, but what's next? Lastly, I just want to remind us to stay in your lane. This is another huge bit of track. If you go into the other lane in a sprinting relay, you will either be disqualified, you will fall, you will be slow if you look back. Like, there's no time for it. So same thing here. There are a lot of leaderboards. There are a lot of flashy lights here at Symmetry. There are a lot of timelines to compare. And there are a lot of expectations you might be putting on yourself personally, or maybe that you're just feeling from other people winning around you. But I want to remind us that leaderboards show the past. That's all they show. They show what's been done. They do not show what you're capable of. They do not show what you're going to do today, what you're going to do this week, this month, in the 58 days we have until conference. But if you spend your time on your race, looking around, looking behind you, you're going to trip. You might get disqualified because you can't produce at a level good enough to keep yourself in the race. And you're going to compare. The only thing we should be doing, let's say on our metaphorical track, is letting the speed of the runners next to us fuel us. So that would be my encouragement. Let it fuel you. Let it make you faster. You want to keep up with the heat you're in. And this is our heat. This is our team. We should all be there. And we're here to help each other get there because we're training on the same field. So we're going to watch Anna Hall finish her 800, which is the last event that she needed to qualify. And I want you guys to specifically watch her reaction. And we might have to watch this twice. It's really short, but just so you guys kind of can hear everything. I'm going to make sure I'm sharing my sound too quick. Share sound. All right. We're going to watch it twice just to make sure you guys can hear the people kind of, what's it called? Commentating her race too.
Really don't feel like doing while you go through all of the pain. You run the repeat 600s and 400s and 800s while you taste battery acid on a daily basis. It's for this moment right here to make an Olympic team.
Well, we talked to Anna Hall between the penultimate and the last event. She didn't think in January after surgery she'd make it here to make the team, but she has.
Do all the things you really don't feel like doing while you go through all of the pain. You run the repeat 600s and 400s and 800s while you taste battery acid on a daily basis. It's for this moment right here to make an Olympic team.
Well, we talked to Anna Hall between the penultimate and the last event. She didn't think in January after surgery she'd make it here to make the team, but she has.
Isn't that great? She's an animal. Yes, the flag. We need the flag. But her reaction, like that is how we should feel hitting a promotion here. Not the opposite. And so she left it all out there. She worked her booty off to get back out there, and then she did the thing. So I'm just like, if you're feeling like you have setbacks, like get back out there, go do your thing. You don't have to wait 3 years to go have that feeling. We can do it a lot quicker here. And watching the Olympics just gets me emotional. But if you need some inspiration, like go watch a couple Olympic trial videos because I cry watching everybody win. But that is all I have for us today. I just think we all have it in us. So let's go do the thing.
Kristen, great job today. Thank you for sharing with the team your creativity in processing such a wonderful analogy for us. So thank you for that. And I hope you enjoy the Olympics.
Oh, we're all going to enjoy the Olympics. Team assignment, go watch the Olympics. I'll let everybody know when Anna Hall is competing. But yeah.
Great job, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. Just so everybody knows, we are going to be hearing more from our some of our team members on a weekly basis. So calls are about to get more exciting. So thank you guys for stepping up. So, all right. Anything else?
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be starting my course for the life and health, and I was curious if anyone recommended any of the add-ons. I know there's like some flashcards and like a tip sheet or something like that, and I didn't know if anyone had used any of those or if you just did the recommended course as is, if that was just good on its own.
Yeah, we did the basic one, Cam, and then they have videos in there along with reading. I would start on the videos and then just go skim the reading as a starting point. I think you'll be fine with the basic unless anybody else has something to add to that. We didn't pay extra.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. And appreciate the discount on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome that they
So-
get that.
So Cam, I would say it depends how you learn. And for me, I'm a older generation. I like to write on the book. I got the book. And then I got the cards too, because I like being in a comfortable place, not just always studying in front of the computer. I like to be on the couch flipping the cue card. I got the cue cards too. Are they necessary? Absolutely not. Like the rest of the team said, but for me, it helped me because I learned that way. So it's really up to you.
Great point. Yeah, I think the practice tests that's another thing that both Gabs, Kylie, and I would say myself as well. Use the practice tests. You can also read the weight of each section in your state. So if one section's 25%, I'd spend a bit more time there. A section that's less than 5% of the weight, you can kind of breeze through. Yeah, Quizlet. Yeah, you'll do great, Cam. Speed is key. You don't have to retain everything, so just get it done. That's our best advice.
Yeah, I remember I worked for Medicare supplemental insurance place for a bit. And I remember it's like the test had all these things, and then like what the job was really specific to was like 5% of what was like in the coursework.
Yep. Yeah, you'll be great.
I'd like to ask a favor of my team here. I got notified last night that Nick Galvan, who's on our team, I don't know the details. He fell real hard and he broke his hip and he's having surgery today. So I
Wow.
was asking if everyone would maybe send just a little a word of inspiration in the chat, and I'll collect that before you close it and I'll send it off to him. I would that's Nick, NICK, and he's coming up. He's going through pre-licensing, and this is a little setback in life, but not like we just talked about the Olympian, and we'll look where she is now, right? So I'm sure he'll catch up real fast. Thanks a lot for everyone for doing that.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Any other thoughts, questions, anything before we hop off and go get after this Monday? Perfect.
Love the forum. Love the depth of what you did, Kristen.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
Awesome.
Thank
You don't go halfway on anything.
I wish I could. I spent an hour typing that out last night. I can't. Oh, thanks, Tim.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll chime in a little bit on the affirmations. I really like that. I think it's really powerful. I do them all the time. There's a couple of ones on I guess you can find them on YouTube or iTunes or whatever. Kenneth Suarez is a good one, and Jason Stevenson. They have a lot of affirmations you kind of walk through if you're not used to it, but positive self-talk, super powerful. I try to avoid negative self-talk at all costs. I know I do it. Everyone does it sometimes, and you can't control your thoughts, but you can absolutely control what you say. And it reminds me of, there's this video I saw. I need to find it to send you guys, but it was about a guy. He was like fixing a freezer on a train, and he thought he was like in a freezing room, and he got locked in there, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna die in here. Like, it's so freezing cold, and I can't, and he kept saying all these like negative things, and he ended up passing away, unfortunately, and they went in there to save him, and it was like 68 degrees or something. So the thing was off. It wasn't actually freezing in there, but your mind is so powerful that you're telling yourself,
Wow.
I'm gonna die. This is horrible. I'm not gonna do well, and it will happen. And your mind is a lot more powerful than we give it credit for. So avoiding those things, saying positive things, writing down good things, or even if you're not like where you want to be, just jotting down the affirmations of what what you can do and what you will do versus, you know, just being bummed out and saying negative stuff, because the mind can take over, and you know, I'll have to find a video there for you. It's a real story.
Yeah, if you could, Cam, throw it in the gains chat. I'd love to check it out. Thanks for sharing that. My mind goes wild. So my mission this week is to get those written and be more positive for sure. Cool, you guys. Well, I know it's going to be an awesome week, and thanks for starting here with us this morning. We're always here for anything. Let's go have an awesome week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Good week.